So we'll begin just by stretching out some of the muscles that connect down into your hips. So inhale, raising both hands up over your head, and then kind of draw your shoulder blades down away from your ears. I'm going to drop one hand down to the floor, it doesn't matter which hand, and then that hand is going to kind of support you so you can maintain length through your spine, and then bend at the elbow and reach that top arm over. You're going to roll your shoulder blade back so your heart looks up towards the sky or ceiling. Taking a deep breath, then on the exhale, push yourself back up, both hands come up to the sky, and then switch sides. And that arm is kind of posting so you can maintain that length along your spine, and then bending at the elbow and extending that top arm as far as you can so you get that good stretch down through your lats all the way into your hip. And pushing back up, and then both hands come down to your sides. Cool. So make around your hands and knees to begin. So with your knees underneath your hips, hands underneath your shoulders, we're going to come into cat and cow, still warming up your spine. So inhale to look up, and then exhale, curving your chin to your navel. And just kind of moving through the whole range of motion as you kind of feel your spine wake up. And as you push your spine up towards the ceiling, see if you can actually flex your abs to make that contraction happen. Essentially, it's your abs that are squeezing to bring your chin towards your belly button. We'll do one or two more passes up and down. And then we'll meet in a nice neutral spine. So extending your right arm out in front of you and your left heel straight back away from you. And then tucking your belly button into your spine so you get like really hollow through the midsection. Again, taking a breath, and then on the exhale, connect elbow to knee under your body. And then inhale to extend, reaching out. We're going to do that 5 times. Exhaling to connect for 2, to extend. And then for 3, extending out. And then for 4, extend out. One more time making the connection. And then one more time reaching out. And then coming back onto all fours. Just take a moment to resettle. Again, drawing your belly button into your spine, reaching your left arm out in front of you and your right heel straight back away from you. Taking a breath, and on the exhale, connect elbow to knee. Inhale to extend. Exhale to connect. There's 2. Inhale to extend. Exhale to connect. There's 3. Extend. Connect. There's 4. Extend. One more time, making the connection. One more time, reaching out and coming back down onto all fours. So we're going to do just a little spinal mobility work. So bring your right hand behind your head and then pushing your heart away from the floor so your left shoulder is really strong and engaged. We're going to bring your right elbow to your left elbow and then open out to the side as far as you can. Bring it back in. We're going to do that 5 times, just kind of moving through the breath. Each time you do it, you can kind of feel that stretch happening across the middle of your back. One more time. And then after you've done your 5, we'll come down and do the same thing on the other side. So bringing your left hand behind your head and pushing your heart away from the floor so that right shoulder is really strong. Connecting elbow to elbow and then opening out to the side just about as far as you can. Linking movement with breath, so you give a big exhale as you're coming up. Oh. And then after you finish that 5, we'll curl under your toes and come into a downward facing dog. So from the downward dog, just pausing for a moment, kind of pedaling out through your heels. Give a little stretch in your calves or your hamstrings, and kind of shake your head if you want to. And then we're going to go for an alternate toe touch from a downward dog for 20 reps. So reaching, touching your opposite toes and trying to keep your legs and back just about as straight as you can. And once you finish your set of 20, you can come back down onto hands and knees. It'll make your way all the way onto your back. We'll get ready for a set of crunches. So we're going to go for 25 crunches. Heels can be either on the floor or up in the air, creating a tabletop with your shins. Doesn't really matter, but each time you come up, you want to give a big, strong exhale. So your core is empty by the time you get to the top. You're getting that good, strong squeeze. And always maintaining the space between your chin and your chest. So you're never pulling on your head, but it's your abs that are bringing you up. Once you finish your set of 25, bring your hands underneath your bum, and we're going to straighten out your legs and come to a set of 25 leg lifts. So raising your heels up off the floor, stopping until you're just shy of above your hips, and then lower them down so that they hover just above the ground. So going for 25 of these. As you get to the bottom, so you can just kind of point your legs a little bit further, just to create that length through your core. There's 25. Cool. Once you finish a set of 25, we're going to cross your right ankle over your left knee and thread your hands through to grab onto your left thigh. And just pausing here for a moment, just giving a little gentle pull. Kind of stretch out your right bum cheek. And then releasing that leg, you can either let your left leg stay floating or bring your left heel down to the ground. And we're going to come into crunches straight up and down for a set of 15. So coming up, giving a big exhale. Once you finish a set of 15, just switching sides, crossing your left ankle over your right knee, and then threading your hands through your legs so that you grab onto your right thigh. Just giving a gentle pull to kind of stretch out that left bum cheek and give a little rock to side. We call it milking the stretch. And we'll release your right leg. Bring that foot back down to the ground. We're going to come into your next set of figure 4 crunches. So 15 straight up and down. Again, maintain that good space between your chin and your chest. Cool. Once all done with those, we're going to come on up and kind of sit on your bum with your hands pointing away from you. We're going to straighten out your legs. And what we're going to do is pretend like you got a little box of something precious right at the end of your mat. So we're going to lift up your legs, bring it to one side of the mat, and then raise it up over that little box of something precious. I imagine like a box full of kittens, because that's just so precious. And it's like kind of a big box. So we're raising it up and over. But the box can be whatever precious thing you want. We're going to go for 20 of these total. Or if you're like my kids, you want to keep it kind of dangerous, it's a box of hot lava. Once you finish a set of 20, come on down and post your feet about hip width apart. And raise your hips up off the ground. We're going to come into an alternating crab kick. So reaching out, touching opposite toe. Also for a set of 20 reps. Cool. Once you're done with that set 20, you can come to laying down flat on your back once again. You're going to bring your big toes together and your heels just about touching, and then let your knees drop out to either side. Give a little rock from side to side to kind of open up your hips. I'm going to put one hand over the other like you're diving into a swimming pool, and we're going to crunch really high up, driving your hands right through the center line of your body. So we're going to go for a set of 25 of these. Again, think about giving a big exhale on the way up so your core gets empty by the time you get to the top. Once you're all done with your set of 25, we're going to come into a vertical hip raise. Because that's where you put your hands underneath your bum, legs are straight up over your hips, and you kind of use your lower abs to kick your butt up off the floor and then lower down softly. We're going to go for 20 of these. Try to keep your feet directly over your hips, and think about coming up fast and lowering down slow. If you can pause for a moment at the top, that's even better. One, two, three, 4, 25. Cool. Once we're done with those, we're going to straighten out your legs. Reaching your hands over your head, just give them a little abdominal stretch. Taking a deep breath, long exhale. And then bringing both knees into your chest. Give a little rock from side to side. And then continuing working on spinal mobility, we're going to straighten out your left leg along the floor. And bring your right knee across your body, all the way out to the side. And then reach both arms out to the sides. So you got your knuckles in line with your shoulders. We're going to carry your right arm up until your palms are touching to your left, and then open all the way back out to the side. We can do that 5 times, just going slow and going at your own pace. And as you bring that right arm all the way back out to the side, see if you can let your right shoulder come all the way down to the ground while maintaining your right knee on the floor. One more time. Once you finish your 5 repetitions out, make your way onto your back again, hugging both knees into your chest. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So straighten out your right leg along the floor, with your right hand carrying your left knee across your body, reaching your left arm out to the side, and then reaching your right arm out to the side, and then carrying your left hand up towards the sky until your hands are touching, and then opening out for 5 repetitions, trying to link movement with breath. Cool. And then once you finish all 5 of those, make your way onto your back again, give it one more little hug, because hugging yourself is a good thing. I don't think most people hug themselves nearly enough. Okay, so now we're going to come into a set of butterfly sit-ups. That's where you straighten out your arms and legs into a big sort of happy shape, taking a deep breath, and then on the exhale, floating all the way up onto your bum until you come up and you're balancing on your tailbone. And then you come out of it the same way that you got into it. So taking in a deep breath, and then on the exhale, squeezing up, nice and tall, and then lowering all the way back down. There's 3. There's 4. We're going to do 1 more. And the last one we're going to hold at the top for a moment. And imagine someone is like pulling you from the front of your shirt. So your shoulder blades kind of come back. Raise both hands up over your head, and then lower really slowly all the way down to the mat. And then we're going to connect elbow to knee over your body. Now, making that connection with your elbow to your knee, we're going to extend your left arm and your left leg all the way out. Come back together, and then switching sides for a set of 20 reps total. Cool. Once you're all done with those, we're going to hook your right ankle over your left knee, and we're going to come into a single leg hip raise. So pushing off your left heel, raising your hips up as high as you can, and then lowering slowly back down. We're going to go for 10 of these on each leg. Going at your own pace, but trying to get that good strong squeeze through your butt and your hamstring, so high that you almost feel a stretch in your hip flexor, this top part right up there. Once you finish your set of 10, switching legs and doing 10 on the other side. Once you've completed that set of 10, we're going to come all the way onto your side. Resting on your forearm and keeping that shoulder really strong so you're not like slouching and lounging and hanging out, but you're active and doing an exercise. And then your hips are going to float up off the ground. We're going to come into 10 rib rakes. So your top hand is a rake. Rake underneath your ribs, and then bring that hand up over your shoulder. So going for 10 of these. The further you reach under, the more productive the exercise becomes. And always keeping that left shoulder girdle really strong. Once you finish a set of 10, switch sides. Again, shoulder girdle is engaged. Top arm is your rake. Rake under your ribs. Come all the way up. Eight, 9, 10. Cool. Once you're done with those, we'll make your way onto your belly. We're going to do our last mobility exercise. So we've done this one a few times in the past. It's pretty good. So it's where you're resting on your tummy. I'll talk through the first few and then we'll go into it. So you're resting on your tummy, both arms come up, and you bring your knuckles down to your lower back, so your hands are on top of one another. And then draw your elbows back towards each other, stretching through the shoulder girdle. Lower back down, and then bring both arms all the way out in front of you again. We're going to go for 5 of those. Just going at your own pace and kind of breathing through the movement and really kind of listening to your body. And then once you finish your set of 5 of those, we're going to come onto a forearm plank for 60 seconds. And while you're holding the plank, if you want to make it a little bit more fun, we're going to rock your hips from side to side. So starting in 3, 2, 1, you're in your plank and everything is going great. And then if you want to make it a little bit harder, you kind of drop one hip down to the ground and then your other hip down to the ground. So we're just rocking side to side while holding the plank. But that's just kind of like an option if you want to make it spicy. We're at 30 seconds. Think about keeping your upper spine high away from the floor. Good, 15 seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come all the way down. If you want to rest for a second in child's pose, kind of stretch out your lower back for a moment. Then we'll come forwards all the way back onto your belly. We're going to do a lower and upper back strengthening movement, and that is the Superman to cactus arms. So both arms are straight out in front of you, and you're flying up like Superman. Legs and arms come up off the floor. Draw your elbows down towards your rib cage, and then straighten back out, and then lower back down softly to the ground. We're going to go for 5 of these. Again, moving at your own pace and in a range of motion that's right for you. Once you finish a set of 5, come all the way back into your child's pose. And while we're holding this child's pose, we're just going to kind of gently walk your hands to one side. Doesn't matter which side. Taking a few deep breaths. Then you're going to walk both hands over to the other side. Again, taking in a few deep breaths. And then come back towards center. And then coming all the way up. Sitting on your bum. Cool. Well, that's it. Good job, everybody. Hope you all have a great weekend. And if you can say something nice or do something good, you should always take advantage and do it, because you may not get the opportunity